First, let's begin here. Developing this morning, the Middle East on edge as Israeli strikes ring out in Damascus after the fall of the Syrian regime over the weekend. The Israeli army releasing new photos of what it says is an operation within Syria. This comes as Israeli airstrikes targeted sites in the capital of Damascus, claiming Iran used them for developing weapons. Syrians cheered in the streets after rebel forces, led by a former al-Qaeda commander, captured Damascus. President Assad fleeing to Russia as his family's more than half-century reign over the country crumbled. NewsNation's Alina Shirazi has the latest from Washington this morning. Alina, good morning to you. What does this mean for a region already on edge?
Good morning, Markie. Well, right now, we know the former dictator is in Russia. We know his family was granted asylum by the Kremlin, according to Russian state media. But overnight, Israel says it struck chemical weapons sites to stop them from falling into the wrong hands. Bashar Assad, Syria's president, has used them extensively, we know, against his own people during its years-long civil war. Also developing this morning, Israel says it has seized a portion of the Golan Heights in Syria to create a buffer zone for its self-defense. These are photos from the Israeli military showing their operations there. Also right now, there are reports of dozens, if not hundreds of people being freed from a notorious prison near the capital of Damascus. Video of several women being freed Sunday you're looking at on your screen there. They are being held, known for torture there, and there are reports that there are cells hidden deep underground. Meanwhile, there are celebrations, as you mentioned there, taking place across Syria, across the country, and the world. Millions of Syrians have become refugees because of the 10-year civil war and years of brutality carried out by Bashar al-Assad and his family. And we know President Biden, yesterday, he came out praising the fall of his government, calling it an act of justice, but he also expressed concerns over what comes next.
It's a moment of historic opportunity for the long-suffering people of Syria to build a better future for their proud country. It's also a moment of risk and uncertainty.
And the fall of Assad's government, we know, also removes certainly a key power base for both Russia and Iran, significantly weakening their influence in the Arab world. We know it certainly does limit Iran's ability to arm its allies and will also change Russia's presence in the Mediterranean. But Moscow, we know, is in talks now with rebels about the future of its military presence there. Markie.
And Alina, how's the U.S. handling the situation? I mean, what's our game plan?
Yeah, back here at home, President Biden is promising to support Syria during this political transition. He's saying he will make sure ISIS forces or any other terrorist groups do not gain a foothold in the country. The U.S. has had a military presence in Syria for years now, mainly to fight ISIS and similar terror groups. In recent days, the United States military did hit dozens of ISIS camps and operatives beginning just hours after Assad fell to rebel forces. The White House, we know, is also sending senior administration officials to the region over the coming days to reassert stability. But it is still unclear who is going to fill the void of power in Syria. That is the big question at this time. Certainly something that will prove to be critical for the region's stability, as well as Iran's proxies and their developments in the region. Markie.
Alina, thank you so much. Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.